Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, I welcome you to my third video where I will be explaining terminologies that are essential for the Arabic language in order to learn the grammar basically. So, just to move on quickly, I will be starting explaining the 9 terminologies which we will come across in our Nahu and Sarf course, which I have been uploading the videos, and inshallah they will be uploaded the third lesson today. First of all, I will start with Fatha. What's Fatha? Fatha is basically, it says a letter Ta, and we have a diacritical point on the top of it. Starting with our first terminology, Fatha. Most of you will be aware of it, but this is for those who are not aware of these basic terminologies. The first one is Fatha, and it denotes by the sign, by the diacritical point over the top. It looks like that. It's called Fatha. The reason why it's called Fatha, because during its pronunciation, we need to open our mouth in order to pronounce it. Fatha. So the sound of it is Ha. A sounds. That's why it's called Fatha, because it's an opening of a mouth. Next one becomes as Kasra. It's the diacritical point that's below the letter. It's like that. And it's called Kasra because the sound of it is E. E sound. Then we have the third one, Dhamma, which looks like this. And pronunciation of it is Dhamma, where we have to close our mouth or make it closer. Dhamma, oo sounds. Then we have number 4 is Fathatain. So it's 2 fathas on the top of the letter. And it looks like that. And the sound of it is an sound. Then we have number 5 is Kasratain, where the 2 diacritical points are below the letter. And the sound of it is in. Then we have Dhammatain, which looks like that. And the sound of it is un. Moving on to number 7, we have Jazm or Sukun. They both have the same meaning or same understanding. Just a different terminology. Some call it Jazm, some call it Sukun. And it looks like a round circle or a half semicircle. It's Sukun or Jazm. Then we have Shadda. Shadda is famous one, which looks like W on the top of the letter. Basically, it represents that there are 2 ta that are joined together, which will be inshallah studying ahead. Then we have number 9 and the most important one, which we will be covering for lesson Nahu. That's I'rab. I'rab basically is the diacritical points. It could be Fatha, Kasra, Dhamma, Fathatain, Kasratain, Dhammatain, Shadda on the letter. And the changing of this Fatha, Kasra, Dhamma and Tanweens, all of this due to an external governing factor is called I'rab. So, an external governing factors that govern the letters the word's last letter is called I'rab. I repeat, the external governing factor that changes or governs the last diacritical points of the word's last letter is called I'rab. Let me give you a quick differentiation. What is I'rab and then okay, let me give a quick differentiation between harakat. You might be hearing from someone saying harakat, and you might get confused. What's harakat? We never heard it. Basically, harakat is nothing else but all of this together are called harakat. But when we divide the harakats, we call it the fatha, kasra, dhammatin, kasratain, fathatain, dhammatain, jazm, sukoon, all of this. But together when we join them, we call it as we have given them one name as harakat. But when we divide harakats, we find kasra, we find fatha, we find dhamma, and everything. So basically, the harakats are only governing these ones, the one I'm marking. Only fatha, kasra, dhamma, fathatain, dhammatain, kasratain, all of these. But when we talk about i'rab does not only govern the harakat, but it also governs the letter on which the i'rab on which the harakat is placed. As for example, we have the word Zaydun. It's a name of a person, Zaydun, right? Now, when I say what's the i'rab of Zaydun, I will say it's dhammatain. What I mean that is, I'm saying the i'rab of the Zayd, the complete thing, is dhammatain. Dhammatain means it has a specific name, which we'll be learning in our lessons ahead. But just to give a source of understanding of this harakat, I'm just saying dhammatain. But when I say what's the harakat of Zayd, I will say fatha, then sukoon or jazm, and then dhammatain. But when I say what's the i'rab of Zayd, I say it's dhammatain. Because I'm not talking about these things when I talk about i'rab. I'm only talking about dal, the last letter, and what's on it and what it is called. That's i'rab. So it's a minute difference between i'rab and all the harakats, which I would like to explain. I hope it was my best explanation. If there is any feedback on this, please send me an email on my description below, and inshallah we will try our best to improve our explanations. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.